What the fuck is this piece of shit?
What is up guys, Media Review Mike here. I really like Crash Bandicoot. Crash Nitro Kart was the first video game that I ever played, and a few years ago I went out of my way to buy a PlayStation 1 as well as all of the PlayStation 1 Crash Bandicoot games, because put simply, emulation is for pussies. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is one of my favorite games of all time, and Crash 4, in my eyes, rivals even some of the best Mario platformers. So imagine my shock when I woke up the other morning to see that Crash Team Rumble, the recently announced follow-up to Crash 4, is coming out a year sooner than I initially expected. Sounds great, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
I just flew in from the new Ruins level and boy are my arms tired.
Let me explain. Crash Bandicoot 4 released 3 years ago now, back in October of 2020, and it was a pretty amazing game if you ask me. I think myself and pretty much everyone else expected that the game would either receive a sequel or some sort of DLC not long after its release, and for a while it seemed like that there was merit to that idea. Wumpa League was a project that was being teased by the Crash Bandicoot socials and even in Crash 4 itself. We didn't know what it was, aside from a logo and a title, however fans, including myself, awaited keenly for the mysterious follow-up. However, 2021 rolled around and nothing. In fact, due to the sales of Crash 4 being lower than what Activision had expected, and a certain global outbreak of chickenpox that confined people to their homes, the coveted Wumpa League project was shelved, likely not helped by Microsoft's acquisition of Activision. Try saying that 5 times fast. However, last year there was a leak that a new game would be revealed at the Summer Games Fest, which it wasn't, but then at the Game Awards it was revealed.
You know, real quick, I want to thank everybody and say that I think I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody.
Crash Team Rumble, a far superior title to Wumpa League in my opinion, is it's something. It's a game, and I guess you like collect Wumpa fruit, but it's a competition or something. Look, I sat through the entire Game Awards stream, including Kratos' 20-minute long speech, for an announcement trailer that amounted to, guys, we're working on a game. Yeah, we're working on a game, guys. But you know what? It's fine. Just get the announcement out now, build some hype, and get the game out for maybe a holiday release, or June of 2024 or something like that. The Crash Bandicoot team really likes June for some reason. Then a few days ago, as of writing this script, the Cash Banuka socials did a gameplay reveal and gave a release date of June 20th, as in a few months away. When I saw the announcement trailer back in December, I thought, oh, okay, that looks pretty cool. For an announcement trailer, they probably haven't finished it yet and are just trying to build hype in advance. However, the game is releasing in a few months. In fact, you can even argue that by including the pre-release build available for those who pre-order the game is only a month away. The existence of the pre-release build, to me at least, means they've either not shown us nearly as much content as the game actually has, or they're extremely unconfident with the game and want to try and get as many sales early on as possible. The last time I remember a game used this strategy was Battle for Neighborville, and that game barely lasted a year before it was axed. And to be fair, Crash 4 was only announced a few months before it was released. However, it's a story-based platformer, not an online arena game. It was reasonable to expect that Crash 4 would be released in a complete state, and announcing it a few months before the release meant that they could just build hype for a few months and release the game before the excitement fizzled out. It was actually a really good idea if you ask me. Online shooters and similar online competitive games are notorious for releasing in broken states, being hastily fixed over the following months, and then being completely forgotten about after a year. And that's kind of what it looks like is gonna happen with Crash Team Rumble. Crash on the Run also had a pretty weak life, however, at least that was a free mobile game. This is a $60 AAA release, so it's more than reasonable to expect more than what they've currently shown us. Now, they've confirmed a battle pass system that will most likely use real-world currency and will probably add some degree of content. However, again, $60 game, you're gonna have to pay more money for even more content. That's not a good look. This is quite possibly going to be the most Activision game to ever Activision. Crash Team Rumble is simply shaping up to be a disaster in my humble opinion. And just looking at the gameplay footage that they've released, the game just looks unfinished. All of the assets are stripped straight from Crash 4, including the music, and there is little to no visual flair whatsoever. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled was relatively bare bones upon release for a $70 game. However, with the amount of content that they added after the release, it made it worth it in the end. Plus, Crash Team Racing was a celebration of the franchise and was really targeting their core audience, which is why they added characters like Yaya Panda and Emperor Velo the 27th. These characters aren't iconic, although Velo should be considering he's the best villain in gaming history, but they added them because it's what the fans wanted. And through its monthly content drops, Crash Team Racing managed to build hype and give a consistent flow of content. If Crash Team Rumble plans to follow the same trajectory, then they'd better be super confident in their post-launch content. However, the fact that this game is like $10, $20 cheaper than your standard AAA title leads me to believe it's probably not going to have much in the way of interesting content additions. Maybe a few new characters or maps, a new game mode if we're lucky, but other than that, I'm not getting my hopes up for the post-launch content carrying the game. The lack of marketing, extremely rushed release date, and bare bones gameplay trailers just make this look like a scrapped multiplayer mode for Crash 4, not a separate game that you have to fork out $60 for. Frankly, I wouldn't at all be surprised if this originally was meant to be DLC for Crash 4 before the devs decided to just make it its own game. I mean, that's what everyone assumed it would be back when it was just called Wumpa League. An online multiplayer mode for Crash 4 to add a bit of replay value, which I think would have been excellent and would have made me dust off my copy of the game to give it another spin. But do I really want to spend $60 on an arena collectathon? Not really. This game simply doesn't look like it will be worth buying, at least upon release, which is why I probably won't be. I mean, for crying out loud, this is an online-only game and they aren't releasing it on PC. I know that Crash 4 didn't get a PC version until like 5 months after its release, but considering that Nitro Fueled never released on PC, and the fact I highly doubt this game is going to do very well, I'm not expecting a PC release anytime soon, if ever. I always recommend waiting for reviews to come out before buying a game, especially this one. And if you are considering pre-ordering CT Rumble, but currently aren't sure, I would highly recommend just waiting for the game to fully release. If the game comes out and it receives great reviews, amazing, go for it. However, I'm just not optimistic that that's going to be the case, which sucks because Crash 4 didn't sell amazingly, especially compared to the Insane Trilogy and Racing, which means if this game flops, Activision is probably going to interpret that as, wow, people don't like this piece of crap game, they must not like Crash Bandicoot anymore. Alright then, no more Banuka for you, bye bye.
I forgot. You're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Which is dumb, obviously, but that's how it goes for these kinds of companies. It doesn't even look like the game is getting a physical release, which is equally baffling and bugs me as a collector. This whole game just screams afterthought to me. Okay, so like a week after I wrote this, they did confirm that it's getting a physical release in select stores, so that's good, I guess. The description also reads, "There's more to come for Crash Team Rumble, with additional heroes, modes, maps, and rewards, and more coming soon." So this might indeed be a case like Crash Team Racing, where a lot of content comes after the fact. Which, to be fair, they did announce the Grand Prix system before Crash Team Racing even came out, so I don't know. Also, I'm calling it now, those bonus characters, it's going to be Engine, Fake Crash, and Fake Coco. Those are going to be the added characters, because there's no way that a game that's this bare bones is creating whole new character models. That's just not going to happen. Whether or not that's a good move, TBD. But that's all a moot point if the game flops, and they can't get any of the content out the gate, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And don't get me wrong, I totally get the desire to get the game as soon as possible. I was at my local EB Games 9 AM on the dot to pick up my pre-ordered copy of Crash 4 back in 2020. However, this game, frankly, doesn't look that good. If it was a free online game with a paid battle pass, that would be one thing, but this game does not currently look like it's worth the amount of money that they're asking for. I know this video seems very negative, and that's because it is. However, I do legitimately hope that this game does well, because I would love to see a Crash Bandicoot 5 at some point. Also, Activision, listen to the fans and give us an Emperor Velo 27 dating sim. We're all waiting for it, okay?
I sent for
Emperor Velo the 27th
from
Crash Nitro Kart. I will probably definitely get this game eventually. If it releases and gets really strong reviews, I'll purchase the deluxe edition. However, if it sucks, I'll probably just wait for the physical version to go on sale and play it then. Look, here's the thing. You guys come to my videos for an opinion piece, and if you want my opinion, which you clearly do if you've watched this far into the video, my only real message to anyone watching this is do not pre-order this game. Do not give Activision a cent unless this game is actually worth it. Let the brain-dead drones who work for IGN play it first and give their thoughts before making a decision for yourself. But hey, I'm not your dad. Do what you want. I don't care.
Unless you want me to be your dad. In which case, hi son. How are you today? How was school? You talked to that girl you like? Come on, let's go play catch.
I know this has been kind of a string of Doomer content recently, so I'm really hoping for something more positive to come along so I can talk about something nice for once.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like. And as always, this is Media Review Mike, signing out.